what's going on? It's the Petrol List.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Dalton from the Petrol List, and today I have a very short video for you. And the one promise that I make with this video is that I will not answer any questions. At the end of it, you will not feel enlightened. As a matter of fact, you'll probably have more questions and wanderings than before we started, and that is because the Alfa Romeo 33, I want to say Stradale, something like that. Anyway, the new version came out, and it is supposed to be a lovely remake of the original. It is kind of lovely, but then again, it's kind of not, because it does feel a little bit digital and created by a computer program versus an artist out there somewhere in Italy. But then it got me thinking about supercars in general, and how supercars can be announced now in the car community. Doesn't even blink. As a matter of fact, most of the time, unless you're well studied about car culture and you're some sort of aficionado or it's your hobby, supercars get released all the time and nobody blinks an eye. And that is because the definition of supercar has become lost. Now, I think the problem is that we never had any criteria for a supercar before. We just all knew one when we saw one. And in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s, a supercar was something that was inherently beautiful or extremely striking, something that accelerated and handled better than anything else on the road, something that was presumably difficult to drive, and you'd have to have some kind of racing pedigree or a racing license or aficionado, hobbyist, track day, love for the cars in order to be able to drive them. And now that's all gone, because literally we've got SUVs doing 0 to 60 in the same time as it takes a Jaguar F-Type R, which is like 3.5 seconds. Supercars are not necessarily that difficult to drive anymore, and oddly enough, supercars aren't really that astronomically expensive anymore, because I personally would define the Chevy C8 as a supercar in both performance and looks. So they're not even that expensive anymore, because a Nissan Z, the Nismo, if you saw that video, it is priced as high as an entry-level C8. So how can a supercar and a Nissan Z car be the same price? It's because we've lost the definition of supercar. And as a matter of fact, we've lost the definition of sports car or performance car, because basically every manufacturer can now build something that can go around the track or down the drag strip quite quickly. And on top of that, there are some cars I personally think that are so fast that I don't think they would be enjoyable to drive. Anything that is 1,000 horsepower, be it gas or electric, I'm just not certain that unless you're at a racetrack, you are going to enjoy that car. I had an F-Type R, 550 250 horsepower, and it was decent for highway cruising. It was a very dramatic car, but in terms of pure driving joy, I would much rather take out my Miata or my old VW. Just a lot more engaging, a lot more fun to drive, and you could reach the limit without going to jail. So you do come into a conundrum. What is the definition of a supercar? What is the use of a supercar? Other than a car that is quite expensive, still typically fast, but not any faster than anything else on the road. And lastly, not difficult to drive, so you don't get any street cred for driving one. So there we are, as promised. I answer no questions. I offer no solutions. Just, what is a supercar? There's no definition. Don't know what that is.